Hey guys, welcome back to AOA Gaming. This is Perry, and today we're going to talk about the new action-packed game, Astral Chain, made by Platinum Games for the Nintendo Switch. And if you're not familiar with the way we do things here at AOA Gaming, we look at video games in a way that might be a positive influence towards not just the people playing the game, but also towards the gaming community as a whole, because we're all trying to spread some type of positivity, and that's all. But also, these games are just to have fun, because they're just video games. So with that being said, let's take a look at Astral Chain. At first glance of seeing this game premiered, trailered at E3 a lot, I thought I would not pick up this game because it just didn't seem appealing. It was just another action button smash type of game, and it's something that you could just breeze through by and not like whatsoever. Kind of like Devil May Cry, but Devil May Cry has its reputation of being great. But after having my hands on the game, after seeing multiple reports that this game was going to be good, I figured I would check it out for myself. And boy, this game does not disappoint at all. And you can tell by its anime-ish style that Platinum Games really went in with this, trying to be not just a good action game, but just an overall experience for its players, its fan base, its fans, because they are known for working on titles such as Bayonetta and having that being such a gross game, an uplifting game towards women, and it shows the women empowerment. And that's just my take on Bayonetta because I enjoy that series. But with Astral Chain, it is a different experience, and the way it details it is by its moment-to-moment experience throughout the entire game. That's something that's cool in video games, is that it can be slow-paced, and then a cool action scene happens, and it engrosses you even further. Or it could just be moment to moment the entire time, and you feel like you're enjoying it that way too. Astral Chain is kind of a slow burn because of the way that's played. You get to create your character in this game. You play as either a male or female twin, and you're a police officer. But the twist is, it's kind of like an alien invasion happening within the city that you're a part of. And I think of Independence Day as soon as I think that. I feel like I'm playing as Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum in a video game format, anime-ish style too, which is great in itself. So to see that in this game is really cool. The only downside about the whole create your own character thing is that the other player is throughout the entire story, and they have them named as Akira. So if you play as the male version, your twin sister is going to be Akira. You play as the female, then vice versa. So it's just kind of weird that they did that and not really playing more vanilla stuff into it, because that's all it is that after going back and playing for just for review purposes, I saw that it's the same dialogue if you were to play with the male and female. It's just what you would rather prefer to play as. And I think that's cool that Platinum Games was like, let them play as what they want to, but let's not change the dialogue. And like, I'm going to suggest that from story purposes, it doesn't change at all, and that's where later on game purposes. But not only is it has the whole alien invasion and you're playing as a police officer, but you have what they call is a legion, and legions are what are able to take on these aliens called Chimera, and that leads into the awesome, and I mean the very, very great gameplay. The gameplay is solid, fluid, and once you understand the tutorial, or if you want to just breeze through it, it is great to play because of the way it's synced up time to time. It's not just about you. You're also trying to put on combos with the Legion, as it's not really bad. The button system for that is not hard at all because you use the two back buttons, the ZR and ZL, for the Nintendo Switch. And like, I played this both in handheld and in it's a TV format, and there's no delay whatsoever in that sense. It felt great to be able to have that experience, just to play from hand to TV, and just know that I'm hitting the same buttons, and it felt comfortable. Being able to dodge is just the B button. Or also, what's cool is that you get different legions, kind of like Devil May Cry, where you get different weapons. It's just that when you do that, it felt new. Each weapon, not just the same. You think you're just hitting a combo button, but no, there's a whole ability skill for each legion, and it makes you go in depth of how you want your combat to go. This game is all about the combat, and it never felt the entire time that I was playing it. It just made me wonder where they came up with this. Someone took some time and effort to be able to do the things that you're able to do in Astral Chain, because it feels different every time you try to pull a combo off or counter move. It's just, to be able to do that just felt great and unique, and I haven't seen that in an action game in forever. And we've had Devil May Cry 5 and Kingdom Hearts 3 in the same year, and like, their action is great and fun to play as, but this just felt more polished in Astral Chain. What's also part of the gameplay is, of course, platforming, because it's a kind of a platformer game, and it's not too hard or not too easy either. It's kind of a moderate tone. Like, once you figure out where you need to go or what you need to do, it's great. It's just like, oh, well, I need to do this to do that. Also, outside the whole gameplay mechanic is the fact that you are a policeman, so not just a straight through game. You get to do side missions if you feel like, to raise your level. You go from cadet to specialist, and that's where the side quest is in this game. You're able to not want to beat the game as fast. You can do all these side quests just to get you through and get your level up, and that made it even interesting itself, because it felt like I didn't have to rush all the time to see what happened next. You can just go off to the side and feel fine and like feel accomplished at what you did, because you feel like a good citizen, being a good policeman, and like being helpful in a sense. Also, when it comes to the most kind of the mystery side of the game, like where you have to answer certain questions, it's rewarding in a sense if you paid attention to the clues that you were given by certain people. And like, I thought that was cool, because it's like, you're paying attention. You're not just playing the game. You're actually trying to figure out, ooh, so this person did this, or this is the thing. But also, you get bonus points at the end for actually being a good listener, and the rating system for that is great. It's not necessary in video games, but for something like Astral Chain, I can see why, because it's not just a button smash. It's more about like, did you do this to be able to get this? Okay, then your levels up. And I thought that was fine. It's not something that was a big ordeal. You don't have to do it, so it didn't bother me, because none of that stuff really matters to me. I think it's just cool that they put that there. What's also cool about this is that the music is phenomenally good. And I mean super good, because like, there were some times where I was just beating my head, like just back and forth, just like enjoying it, every song that I heard. And like, if you want to brush up on your skills, there's a training room for you to do some training. Like, the game itself is great because of it's able to not just say, hey, here everything is, go do it. It's just up to you to play however you want to play in this game. You get to customize your character too. You don't have to wear the police suit all the time. You can make it dressy. You can even take it off. You can wear a hat. You can wear glasses. You can actually customize your legion, because like, they get so dirty in a sense of like, for what all the work that they do, you can actually clean them up, which was kind of cool. It's not necessary. It's just a little thing for you to be unique. You can change their color if you feel like it. I found that to be cool as well, because it's not like you don't want the plain police officer suit. If you want to wear something cool, do it. And plus, by doing the side missions, you're able to get certain items and materials to be able to make that type of gear that you want. And that felt cool in itself for allowing rewarding players for actually playing the game. In terms of story, besides the whole Independence Day vibes that I was getting with the real cool Bad Boys moment here and there, and like picking up throughout the entire story, the story itself is not super great. It's just what it says, the Independence Day type of atmosphere, but with the character being you, and then the Akira being who the alternate path of you, it didn't feel very fluid in that sense, because it didn't really register that if I were to play it the other way, nothing really changes. And for a game that can be beaten for 12 to 18 hours, I felt like I really wanted more. It hits its stride a lot, but I felt like there could have been more. I beat this game in 20 hours for doing a couple side missions here and there, but I felt like the game could have been a little longer. It could have been more. The combat felt great. There was no drop whatsoever in like frame rating from what I saw from my handheld version of the Switch to TV mode. So they could have added more story, maybe even announced that there might be some DLC coming, but it felt super cool to play. I just wish it was longer, and that's my only really complaint about this game. It was super great in that sense. And with that, we're going to be closing this out with how I would rate this game. And we do this on a not influential, potential, influential, and a very influential setting for what type of positivity this game puts off. And I have to say this game is influential in the sense of how great it is played. Its action, it gets you pumped, it gets you excited the entire time. Its combat is amazing, and it's honestly probably my game of the year as of right now. We have still a lot more to come with Monster Hunter Iceborne coming out. We still have Death Stranding, we still have Star Wars. We have all these games coming out still, but right now Astral Chain might be my game of the year for its ability to make me enjoy its combat. And sometimes great combat is not in every video game. Some people have like slow paced games, and that's fine. But Astral Chain, if you're on the fence about it, I would have to say just give this game a try. It's something that made me believe, like, as an influence based mind, it made me feel like people still care about action-packed games, moment to moment. Like you're playing a movie, but you're involved the entire time situation. And for that to be in such a short game like Astral Chain for Nintendo Switch, which hasn't had like a big combat game outside of Zelda, this and Fire Emblem, no disrespect to them, this is great. It fits along the line of Nintendo games that are great, and it's just as beautiful as Breath of the Wild. As soon as I started it up, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm playing Breath of the Wild, but I'm not. This is a different game, and it felt great the entire time. I would definitely think that it's influential in that sense, and that everyone should give it a chance if you have a Switch. And if you don't, watch your friends play it, watch some YouTube videos on it, just to see how great the game is outside of this review, because it's super positive. It was super fun to play, and I would recommend it for anyone to play, as it is an influential game. And that's all for me. This has been Perry. Thank you for joining A-Way Gaming. And if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, or leave your comments in the sections below and tell me what you thought about Astral Chain, as it's always cool to hear everyone else's opinions if they haven't played it yet or they plan on playing it and what they're expecting. Thank you. You all have a great one.